And in fact, we're going to continue the discussion. Should the SEC overhaul mutual fund fees? Let's ask Jeff Seymour, Managing Director with Triangle Wealth Management, and Avi Nakmani, Research Director and Executive Vice President of Strategic Insight. Gentlemen, thanks for being here. Jeff, let me start with you. What do you think? Do we need this overhaul?
Sure. Well, I think 12b-1 needs to be overhauled. I think two things need to be done. 12b-1 fees need to be overhauled because they're really not serving their initial intent. And something in the area of about $12 billion will be gained from 12b-1 fees from the public this year. And the second thing, and I know this isn't on the SEC's docket, but I'd like to see them improve disclosure so that when the internal fund trading costs from these mutual funds, I think this is a problem that's about 1.5 times the size of 12b-1. I mean, there's about $18 billion this year that's going to be collected in that area as well. But anyway, insofar as 12b-1 is, yeah, I mean, it started out as a borderline good thing.
Avi, yeah, he's got a good point. It was meant to be for advertising.
Well,
now it's not. So why does it still exist?
What's interesting, this morning we hear the original intent of 12b-1 fee, and there's a lot of myths. One of them that was intended for advertising. It was not. It was originally intended to help sell funds. But that said,
isn't that advertising? Isn't that the same thing?
Well, not anymore. But in my view, this is something, I've looked at this industry for 20 years, 21 years, and I think this is the idea of repealing 12b-1 is just a bad idea, not well thought through. You can repeal the law, but you cannot repeal human nature. 4 in 5 investors in mutual funds want personalized advice. The financial advisor will be paid one way or another way. And when you think through this issue, this specific issue, my conclusion, and we just published a paper on that the cost of advice for small investors could actually double from what it is now. That cost will also come in your cash, out of cash, not the way it is now in a pre-tax basis.
Jeff, the point he's bringing up here is that in the end, somebody's going to, if the companies need to spend this money, they're going to charge it one way or another. What's the difference?
Well, the thing is with 12b-1 fees is, you know, if you have a conversation with anyone with the vast majority of people that invest, the investing public in the United States today, you have a conversation with them about, do you know what a 12b-1 fee is? Do you know what it does, and are you paying it? Vast majority of the time, okay, the public is going to say they have no idea. Why does this matter? Well, let's look at what happened briefly with basically commissions in mutual funds. Years ago, they were 8%. Increasing disclosure and scrutiny, it's dropped to 5%. There's no mechanism in place for the same thing for 12b-1. And I would suggest the other person is talking about advice. Let me finish, please. The other person is talking about advice. 12b-1 has nothing to do with offering advice.
But so he's arguing that the advice costs will go up.
I mean, clearly when we look at other places that advice is charged directly to investors, such as separately managed accounts or in other type of wrapped financial advice relationship, the fees are much higher, even though those investors are much wealthier and their accounts are 100, 200, 300,000. Mutual fund accounts, the average mutual fund, you know, half of all mutual fund investors invest less than 50,000 in total. Half of all mutual fund accounts are 10,000 and 12,000 or less.
Right.
Well, clear.
So this is
no,
really
you have some really interesting points. I mean, let me just
clearly,
simplify
though,
it this
it is
way.
a controversial issue, and I'm sorry, we do have to wrap it up. Jeff Seymour, appreciate it, and Avi Nakmani, thanks.